Hello, convo.
Hi, I just had a quick question I was wondering if someone could help me with.
Yeah, sure. What can I help you with?
Do you have time?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I love to learn about religion and stuff like that. So I was reading some information about Jehovah's Witnesses, and I was just wondering if you could explain. It was really surprising to me. What's theocratic warfare?
The theocratic warfare?
Uh-huh.
You mean by like the religion warfare and all of that?
No, theocratic warfare. What it basically is saying, from like what I'm understanding, is that if it's protecting like the organization, it's okay to lie and hide the truth.
Okay, so what we're saying, because like in the Bible says that we're not supposed to lie. Yeah, like like lying and like at work, stealing time, stealing money, lying about that. But when it involves like lying and protecting your brothers, like for instance, we call in our congregation we call each other brothers and sisters. When it involves lying for Jehovah, then that's protecting your brothers. Then it is okay. But when it involves a lie that you could avoid, then we shouldn't lie.
Are you saying protect them in case like they're in danger or something like that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, that's not what this is talking about. It's talking about when theocratic warfare is dealing with, when you're dealing with God's foes, which they define as everybody else. It says you can protect the cause by hiding the truth. So really, it's about not telling the whole truth. Like, I could give you an example.
Okay, sure. Go ahead.
Like, if I ask Jehovah's Witnesses, as just an outsider, do you shun those who leave the organization if they were baptized? And many of them say no. Now, I've seen this on the broadcast. I've read it in their writings, and I've heard it from hundreds of former members. So I don't know why they're lying about that. That's
sure?
not Christian. Am I sure about what? That they lie about that?
That you talked to Jehovah's Witnesses and they had said no?
Absolutely. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. It really surprised me.
May I ask where exactly?
Where
you talk to them? Like
like when they're out with their magazines and on the phone. I called one to ask about shunning because I like to learn about religions. I was kind of surprised about it. Things on the broadcast, like they show a mother not even answering a text from her daughter, not picking up the phone. And really thousands of people are like now talking about it because so much is like coming out now about the organization, and like some people even commit suicide from that because like they are also isolated, especially if they grew up in it, and maybe they were baptized when they were like 8 or 10, which they do talk about as a good thing, and then they grow up and they might not even leave Jesus and Jehovah. They just don't want to be a Jehovah's Witness anymore, And
well,
yes, they're shunned really, really bad. There's suicides. They have a high rate of suicide that's even been documented by research.
From Jehovah's Witnesses? Yeah,
from shunning especially.
Mm-hmm. Are you sure? Because the thing is about when you get baptized, you're part of Jehovah's Witnesses.
Right.
But once you commit a sin that you
I'm not talking about
a
sin. I know that's all you can think of it in terms because they like to keep that from your mind. But many grow up and then just don't want to be a Jehovah's Witness. And that's what I'm talking about, not any kind of sin listed in 1 Corinthians 5.
Well, you're talking about that they don't want to become Jehovah's Witnesses no more.
Exactly. They just don't want to go anymore. Yeah.
But that's everybody's option. We all have free will.
No, I'm not talking about if they don't, you're not going to shoot them or something like that they have free will. I'm talking about shunning. So you're kind of changing the words up a little bit to be, see, you're starting to practice that too, theocratic warfare. Now did you know Islam has something like that? It's called taqiyya. Mm-hmm. Muslims can lie if it protects their Islam, the organization.
That's interesting, but I've not seen no records of Jehovah's Witnesses doing suicide because of shunning. Right,
they don't tell you. You think that it's going to be on jw.org or what? They call it a spiritual paradise, and they keep telling you you're so happy.
May I ask where you've seen these type of stuff?
Support groups. there's tons of support groups everywhere because there's so many leaving, like right now. And they're really struggling. A lot of them have to get therapy and things like that, even medication, and call the suicide hotline and stuff like that. How would you feel if you were grown up and you can't have other friends because they're worldly and bad association? So all you know is Jehovah's Witnesses, and then your family and all your friends that you ever had will not talk to you anymore.
Well, the thing is, in Jehovah's Witnesses, we still bring people. You know, you are never left alone.
Oh, they are. That's what I'm talking about. Why do you say that?
They choose to leave alone. They choose. And we are always open with open arms.
Wrong. No. See, now you're doing it. So you do practice theocratic warfare, I guess, right? You're practicing it on me because I don't deserve to know the truth. And you're protecting the organization. You're already hedging, and I believe that you do know the truth about it. And you know, Jehovah doesn't really like lying. Do you actually believe in God? Do you think he sees you and knows what you're doing?
Yeah, that's all leads to faith.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about the lying part. Do you think he's really into that? Do you think he approves of it?
No. Like I said, if you go avoid a lie, avoid it.
Yeah. Well, why are you? You're engaging in theocratic warfare right now. You won't just honestly admit you're trying to say they leave. It's all their fault? No, it's because they were tricked into getting baptized when they're 8 or 10. Maybe they were sexually abused in the organization. Do you know how many things are in the news now about children being sexually abused in the Jehovah's Witnesses? Don't you think they would want to leave because they wouldn't want to be around that person anymore who's still there?
But have you ever heard of a Jehovah's Witnesses abusing somebody?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's in the news all over the place. And that because they have why don't you look it up? It's Google child sexual abuse, Jehovah's Witnesses, Australia Royal Commission, Stephanie Fessler case, $4,000 fine a day in California. The Netherlands.
Do you know that people can make those up, right?
No, it's all in the news. Why does Watchtowers quote things from the news then about other religions? Why isn't it made up in that case? No, don't fall for that. They're just trying to trick you. They're trying to isolate you to write off everything. You should really look into it. Did you know they have a 2-witness rule in child sexual abuse? If another person didn't see it, they just leave it in Jehovah's hands. They don't do anything. It's in the Elder's Manual.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, because that's in the Old Testament, but see, it can't apply to something like that. You know, it's just kind of stretching the limits of credulity to think that should apply to that.
All right. Well, I have to get going, and I hope what you said sounds interesting, but, you know, for someone to actually believe that, you have to do research your own.
Exactly, and I hope you will. You know, they encourage everybody else to examine their religion. So I think fair is fair, right? And a great website also, besides Googling those topics, is jwfacts.com. It's been around for a long time, very reliable.
The thing with Google and JW Facts is that anybody could put anything in there. It's just think of it with Wikipedia. Anybody could put whatever they want.
Exactly. Just like on JW.org, I wouldn't trust that either.
No, in JW.org, nobody could put, like, I can't put something random JW.org. Only the government body could do that.
Right, and they're not trustworthy either. But on Wikipedia, what's really interesting that you mentioned that they have a really excellent section on Jehovah's Witnesses, especially the history. And what you can do is what people should do, rather than saying, "Oh, you can't trust anything." Go fact check everything they say, because they have a lot about the history that's not on JW.org, because they're trying to scrub their past history now from the members. So that's why it doesn't go back very far, and they just say, oh, that was so long ago. But it really is important, you know, because they were claiming, even at that time, to speak for Jehovah and that they were God's channel. So that's why it's important to check what was going on at that time.
Yeah. Well, all right. We'll have to get going.
Okay. Well, thanks for talking to me about it. Check things out. Do your research. Okay, God bless you.
Thank you. Bye.
See ya.